It's time to put together our Leo James $100 Strat guitar kit. I've got everything on the bench here, ready to go. I'm going to just put it together, talk you through a little bit, and then we'll give it a sound test to see if it actually sounds like a guitar.
Sweet.
The first thing I want to put on is the trem claw. This goes in the back cavity. There's 2 screw holes already pre-drilled in the body. Very easy to do. Just make sure you drive them in on an angle, not straight in. You can see the trem claw can move around a little bit. That's okay. We'll be attaching springs to that soon, which will keep it tight. Let's turn it over and we'll put the bridge in place while we're here. So here's the bridge. It's like a vibrato or tremolo system. And if you watch my unboxing video, I told you that it's not bad. It has some good heft to the block here. The saddles have kind of a poor finish, and so does the plate here. It's not horrible, but I wouldn't say it's perfect. There are 6 pre-drilled holes here. Let's put this on. And we'll drive our screws in, but we won't overdrive them because we don't want to make this too tight. We want to have a little bit of play in it so that it can move. Now, if you don't want your trem to move, you can tighten these all the way and then put a block in the back. I'm going to snug up a little bit, make them kind of consistent, just so they're just touching the metal plate. Don't want to over tighten. That's good. Okay. There's a little bit of play there for the trem to be able to lift as needed. I hope you're enjoying this video as much as I am. I love working on guitars, playing guitars, talking about guitars. If you enjoy that kind of stuff, be sure to subscribe below and give me a thumbs up if you like this video. And also give me your thoughts on this kit. What would you keep? What would you upgrade? Would you even buy it? Here is your pre-wired pick guard. This thing's pretty impressive. The pickups, I wouldn't say they're anything to write home about, but they're wired up nicely. It's a cheap printed circuit board switch, but that's okay. What do you expect? The kit was $100. You got 3 ceramic single coil pickups, 5-way switch, the dime sized pots that a lot of people complain about. But if you check out one of my favorite YouTubers, his name is Dylan Talks Tone, he'll show you the details that it doesn't matter the size of the pot. It's the quality of the pot that matters and the quality of the components. The size of the pot is not important. Don't believe me? Check out Dylan Talks Tone. All we have to do, because this is pre-wired, there's only one wire to solder, and that's this ground wire. Everything else snaps together. This snaps right in with the input jack right here. I mean, check that out. Male, female parts go right together, very easy. So let's take this over to the body. We're going to stick this ground wire through the hole in the body. All right. And then we'll take this red connector here and the connector on the input jack. We'll feed through the hole that's already pre-drilled. You don't have to drill anything on this. It's incredible. It is ready to go. You can use the built-in components or buy your own. And all we do, this snaps together. I mean, this really couldn't be any easier. There's no way it could be easier. Look at that. It's in there. Now make sure we put this down in. We keep it out of the way, and we don't want to grab any wires under our pick guard. Okay. Let's make sure this ground wire is tucked underneath here. Set this in place. No wires. Make sure it presses down to the body. We will attach these things on the top and then flip it over. And just carefully finish the last little bit by hand. All right. Now on the pick guard itself, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 holes. I'm going to put just a few in, since we don't need to have everything attached in case we want to change some stuff. And this is a test run, so. All right. That is most of the guitar. All right, check that out. And I haven't done any soldering yet. I'm going to solder this onto the trem claw right now. It's not too hard. I'll show you how to do that. All right, now some of my more astute viewers might notice a little bit of solder on the trem claw. Guess why? Because I built this guitar already and had to take it apart and rebuild it. You know why? Because I'm stupid.
Failure! Failure! You're still a failure! Failure! I can smell the failure!
I accidentally erased a majority of my video footage and couldn't restore it because I double erased it. Don't ask me how, just believe me. So let's solder on the ground wire to the trem claw. All right, I already pre-tinned the wire here and I bent the clip up. You can see there's some old solder there. I'm going to take this wire and put it under that little clip. Hopefully I can fit it under. Let's see. All right. Okay, so our wire is clamped in place. We're going to hold the iron on the metal, heat it up, nice and hot. You don't melt the solder with the iron, you melt it with the heat of the metal. Let it melt and flow into place. The ground wire is soldered to the back trem claw plate. You have to have a ground wire or your system will buzz like crazy. Now that we have the ground wire attached to the trem claw, it's time to attach the springs. I like to use a little bent nose pliers like these. Take the 90-degree angle bend, stick it in one of the holes on the trem block. Whoops. Stretch it over to one of the little clips. There you go. That's all there is to it. Make sure that's pushed down in. Now let's put the back plate on. Just put a few screws in there to hold it for our trial run. All right, very cool. Most of the guitar is built. All we need to do now is put the neck and tuners on, then string it up. I cheated a little bit off camera. I already put 5 of the tuners on. Very easy to do. I'll show you how to do one of them. It's pretty boring to watch me do all 6. Each tuner comes with the tuning machine and a nut with outer threads and a washer and a small screw. All you do, you pop this through the headstock. Oops. Like that. Put the washer. Run the nut through there, snug it up. I turn it over. There's pre-drilled holes, so that's sweet. There you go. Now that we're ready to put the neck on, we want to make sure that the heel of the neck fits tightly into the cutout on the body. And I pre-checked this and it fits very nicely. We'll slide that in place there. You grab your plate and screws. Everything is pre-drilled, especially that neck heel. You don't want to blow that out by driving screws into a fresh piece of wood without any pre-drilled holes. I have the neck on the guitar, I have the tuners, it's all ready, and I just want to double check to make sure that it's seated down in the neck pocket of the body, and it looks good. I don't know if you can see that. It's lining up pretty nicely all the way around, and it's sitting flat in there. There's no gap back here. Don't know if you can see that. It's sitting tightly, that's the most important thing, okay? I'm going to put on some nice new Ernie Ball super sleeking strings because I don't want to use the crappy ones that came with the kit. I'm going to start with the low E string and then just work my way from there. I'm not going to bore you with installing strings in a guitar, but if you want to learn more about how to do that and all kinds of other setup functions on your guitar, check out my video, which will be linked above and below on setting up your guitar. Our little kit is done. Our pink lady is ready to go. I have not put the string trees on yet because I might change it to staggered tuners. And I just wanted to see how it plays out of the box, put together, no adjustments. The next thing I'm going to show you is some live sound samples played through my Fender Deluxe Reverb amp. I'm going to do a few upgrades based on feedback I get from viewers like you. And when it's all done, I might just have to give this away to some lucky viewer. Stay tuned for more details. Well, this is it. This is our Leo James $100 guitar kit, and all put together. And I have not put it through a thorough setup, which would be adjusting the intonation, string height, neck relief, all that kind of stuff. And I have not even put the string trees on yet, because I want to see if I'm going to do something a little different, maybe with some staggered tuners. But this is fresh out of the box, put together, no real adjustments except tuning and stretching the strings the best I could. We'll just run through some quick sound checks and see how it sounds, and you tell me what you think. This is the neck position going through my Deluxe Reverb. Now let's move it to position number 4, which will be neck and middle pickups. Let's try middle position. All right, let's try a little bit of the second position, which would probably remind you of more of a Skinnerd sound. All right. Now let's try it in first position at the bridge, my least favorite on a single coil, but that's okay. Just a caveat here so you understand. This thing has not been intonated, so it's going to sound out of tune different locations. It might be in tune open string, but when I play notes up and down the fretboard, they might be out of tune. I'm aware of that. I know it's out of tune, but this is the first take without any adjustments. So here we go. Bridge position, a little bit of funky picking. So what are your thoughts? This is the $100 Leo James Stratocaster. I mean, no adjustments, nothing. Just put it together, tuned it up, played it. Out of the box, very easy to put together. What do you think? Is it worth $100? Now, I consider this a modding platform because you don't have to use what you're given. But if you're a beginner, you're either beginner at making guitars or playing guitar, this is a great deal. Now, the $20 coupon I used to make it $100 has expired, but you can still get it for $120 in all kinds of different colors. There are a few that go for $150, and I'll bet that they'll run that coupon again sometime soon on Amazon. All the links will be below for the guitar. And I'll tell you what, if I were just starting out making guitars and I wanted to make a really cool custom one, I'd buy this kit because the body's beautiful, the neck is great, and I'd put my own stuff on it. Tell me what you think below. Am I an idiot? Don't tell me that. Or do you think it's worth it? And if it is, give me your ideas for upgrades in the comment section below. Thank you so much.